Right. So, first and foremost, welcome to VIT. Welcome to the experience, VIT experience, and that's what I'll probably be putting it as. Okay. So, in about 10 or 15 minutes, I'll very quickly run through the slides which I have. And this is the basic outcome which I look forward to having or give it to you. So essentially, we talk about something called higher order thinking. Higher order thinking is where you're going to be able to bring out something new, or you're going to extend certain concepts which you are familiar with. So you will be familiar with certain concepts. How are you going to go to the next level? So are you able to create something new? Are you able to probably make a conclusion tying up many concepts together? And these are some of the things which we look for when we talk about higher order thinking. And again, supply chain is a very important part of any business. It's not only for the construction industry. When you take a object, when you source an object, you try to source it at the price point which suits your business model. So the quality you cannot compromise. You cannot compromise on the quantity. For example, if you're going to buy block work, you can't say that I'll buy 80% of the blocks, rest of the 20% I will not get. So from where you source it, how you source it, and in what quantity you source it, all of these make a difference. And this is basically the point where what like we are going to look at. You think of any construction site, there is always some sourcing done, right? Moving on, you will also see that you need to source objects at the right time. So you cannot source, for instance, tiles at the time when you're constructing your foundation. You need to source it in sync with the master schedule, and you cannot source tiles after the delivery date also. So there's a sweet point where you buy it a time when the cost of the tile is very cheap. The cost of storing and stacking is not going to pinch your pocket, and you're also not going to have to protect it from damage and so on and other things. Okay, so you need to understand that whatever you're getting has to meet the contractual requirements of the same and also the quality requirements. And then once you know the like one of the things which you also need to understand is the type of contracts which you are going to likely enter into in your career. But very importantly, how you have to adjust your supply chain to match the requirement. A very simple example of supply chain is your Amazon. So every point of it, right from buying it, right from having a warehouse, right from having a supplier for the product, and ensuring that it reaches the end customer, the one who ordered it in time, forms the entire gambit of the same. So actually, the last thing is design and work on ERP2. I'm sorry that I've not managed to. I seem to have missed out putting it in. Right. Moving on. So these are some of the things which I feel that I'm giving it to you, which probably will be different, maybe from the time when you finished your graduation, and we are going to try to develop an ERP system. And in fact, I wanted to have your class made into groups. Okay, you need to work as a group, because if you are not having a group, I will be forced to make the group for you, and it may be favorable for you, it may not be favorable for you. But if you go and join an organization, you will not be able to choose who is your teammate. So in that way, I feel it's fair enough to make you force a group on you. But I personally feel it will be better that you guys talk with each other, get a group, 5 members or 6 members together, and then do it, because we are going to try to solve a problem which industry is going to give us, right? Moving on. And again, if you are showing initiative and drive that you guys are going to work together, I am going to be also motivated to give more attention to such a group which is having what you call as that fight, is the instinct to fight for success. Okay. So these are some of the things I expect from you. 75 percentage of attendance is something which VIT insists, and you need to take care of it. It's not something which is in my hand. It's entirely in your hands, and we'll be using Moodle to record the attendance. And again, if required, even if you come to class, physical class, I insist that you guys use your mobile or your laptop as it's needed in your sessions. Okay, finish your assignments on time. Again, reading newspaper is very important because you need to know what is asked for in today's date. What is the requirement? What is the likely jobs which you are going to land at the end of your course? And you cannot start preparing your resume on the day you are going for your interview. It has to be done well in advance, and this is why we want to make sure that you have this opportunity. Okay, so I have given five, but at the most you have groups of six. Now, I don't know if you've seen your syllabus. It will be available in VTOP. Most of the academic part, what you call as the administrative part of your course, will be on VTOP. The actual course delivery, I'll be using Moodle. So, movie.vat.ac.in, the link to which many of you have gone and submitted your a little that introductory meet and greet. Um, that's the place where you'll find everything. Okay. Now, moving on, this is the way I have split up the syllabus. We have what is called as the CAT, or the continuous assessment test. There's continuous assessment test 1, continuous assessment test 2, and after that you have what is called as the FAT, or the final assessment test. So when you're coming for the next slide, I'll just show you some of the way the grading is done. But introduction to supply chain is there in the first 3 modules, and this will be focused on in the first continuous assessment test. In the second continuous assessment test, we'll be looking at the operational aspects, and we are trying to develop a ERP too, and we'll be focusing on that post continuous assessment too. This is because by then you should have got an idea of the various concepts and how are you going to apply it. We want to make sure that you are applying these concepts here while you're in campus, so that when you go out, you are not. It's not a new experience for you. So this is the grading criteria in this course. So you will have continuous assessment marks with some of your with classroom performance also. So the I'll be what I'm not sure whether I put it in a slide, but the reason we are doing this is if you are not regularly working, you are going to find that it's not going to make sense. It's not a course where I expect you guys to learn in the last minute. If suppose you have been in one of those normal universities where you have set syllabus, and where they don't divert or deviate from the last 5 years question papers, this is not a course like that. Okay, we try to make sure that you think, and this is where you find the VAT experience is different. Okay, so again, the classroom, till we come physically, it's the MS Teams, and then you will need to probably make a presentation as part of your assessment. Okay, and this will be added also to the internal mark component, and the aim is that you are able to present yourself, pitch an idea, or make, like when you say that you're a construction manager, you have to make presentations to your own bosses. You have to make presentations to other people also. When I say other people, it means your clients, it may be your consultant, it may be a government agency. How you are making sure that all the legal requirements of operating a site is being maintained. If you are looking at a sustainable project, you'll have a green building consultant also coming in to help you with the certification. So many audit bodies are going to come, and if you are thinking that you are going to start developing the skill at the end of your career, it's not a very sensible thing. And I hope that this course helps you to jumpstart on some of the key soft skills which are required. So we'll also have a peer reviewed assignment. What we mean by a peer reviewed assignment is that a friend of yours is going to grade you. Of course, it's going to be blind. When I say blind mark, it means your friend doesn't know for whom they are evaluating, and vice versa. You will not know who evaluated your work. And this is a very good tool of what we call as formative assessment, you may have had 5 points in your answer, but when you see, say, five others points, you get 25 points, of which maybe at least 10 are different. Maybe you wouldn't have known about it. You might not have thought about it. You would like the presentation which a person has done. But more importantly, you'll also see presentations which you don't like. So if you feel that you see a presentation which you don't like, automatically you are having you develop that something inside you which says, when I do this work, my work will not look like this. Okay, so we'll have some the continuous assessment test 1 and 2, in addition to this quizzes, the peer reviewed assignments, your assignments, and other presentations. And one of the things which happens in my course is the pattern of the question will be set by you. So how many true or false? I mean, there will not be true or false questions. How many questions you want to have, like 2 marks or 2.5 marks into so many, and stuff like that is determined by you. But what goes into the questions is my prerogative. Okay, all your whatever you submit will be going through plagiarism check. Plagiarism check is where we see whether you have copied from some other source and say it is yours. And again, even if you take from another source, we expect that you rephrase it in your own words, so that it is not like a classroom where, they say the classroom notes are it is the transfer of information from the or data from the lecturer's notes to the students' copies without passing through the mind of either of them. Okay, so this is not something which I expect from you. So when you are reading up something, maybe referring to multiple sources, I want you to assimilate the information and present it in your own words. This helps you to bring out critical thinking. Okay, moving on, there will be some rubric or a grading scale which we'll be sharing with you. So it aims to see whether you're able to relate some of the engineering requirement with your supply chain. Again, we also will see whether you are able to comprehend some of the established concepts of supply chain. You might be creating your own design. However, it should match, whenever we are looking at a question, whenever you're looking at a answer or a solution from you, we also, at least I look for some of the established criteria to be highlighted and shown. Okay, again, we wanted to show some intelligent application of the knowledge of supply chain which you got, because when you go out of this campus, you have exactly 1 year or 1.5 years at the most for developing your profile. So we need to make sure that you gain sufficient knowledge to intelligently apply principles which you're learning. It may be supply chain, it may be project management, it may be BIM, it may be so many other things which you're learning here. However, we need to see the intelligence demonstrated by each of you, because that is what is the expectation of people outside. Okay, so we need to relate certain very key concepts: time, cost, scope, and end of the day, quality. So time is when you need something to be brought into your site. Then there is also the cost. Cost is the amount you pay for getting a service or product. Then the scope, what is to be supplied, when is it to be supplied, and how, what is the way, whether a package is to be gift wrapped or something like that, is the way we do. How wide the breadth and depth, or and length of, whatever is going to be the material which is being handled. And again, you need to also look at the quality, and all of this is usually given in a contract document. And although contract documents are not part of the semester right now for you, you'll be doing that hopefully with me next semester. But you need to understand that there's a contractual requirement whenever you make a supply, right? Again, whatever solution you do, it should be practical, it should be realistic. And we want to also see that you are having a clear thought process. There should be a start, there should be a middle where you describe things, and then there's a conclusion. And you can also add something like what are the future possibilities of the solution which you propose in your answers. Okay, neat work always helps. If suppose it's a digital submission or whether it's something you write and submit, in both cases make sure that you work neatly. because that presentation skill is also equally important. Now moving on, this is the typical marks which you get in VAT. So we have something called what do you have as the weightage. So if you see here, if you see here, there is a maximum mark. So when you have a digital assignment, the assignment has 10 marks. It will be out of 10, and the weightage towards the overall what you see on a grade card is 10 marks. So suppose you get 10 marks in your assignment, when you look at your grade card, that will directly transfer as 10 marks. So you cannot take the assignment simply. So I have two kinds of quizzes. One I call as the formative quiz, and of course here it's marked as quiz because that is how it will look in your VTOP. For a certain reason, I am classifying the review assignment, peer reviewed assignments, as a quiz. Now, when you look at the quiz, I call this as formative assessment. So, how have you developed some of the key skills in understand? How is your ideas of supply chain management formulated? This is something which I'm looking at. Moving on, I have something as the continuous assessment test. Now, if you look at this, you will be writing this for 50 marks. This will be converted to 15. So if you get 50 marks, you'll get 15. If you get 25, it will become 7.5 in your grade book. That is the meaning of this weightage. Okay. So you will find that these two components have very great impact on your grade book. So if you get 15 and 15 here, which is very difficult, you will be able to make 30 marks in your final grade. Automatically, 30 marks goes into your grade book. So even if you get 100 marks here, you are only going to get 40 in total. Of course, this is a very important thing. You need to pass this. But if you see here, each of these three also have equal weightage. And these things will be designed in a manner that if you put in your effort, you will get 30 marks. So if you do well in your quizzes, again, it's automatically graded. If you get the answers right, marks are going to come directly to you. So automatically quizzes will give you 10 marks. Peer reviewed assignment, if your peers are able to feel that your work is really good, 10 marks go straight to your grade book. Of course, if everybody get 10, again I'll be finding that something is very fishy. So please don't get into that trap. Okay. Moving on, the digital assignment is again another component where you can get 10 marks. So the rubric will be very clear. The rubric will tell you what is my expectation, and it will be hopefully you'll be able to answer it very quickly. So if you look at it in conclusion, you'll find that the grade to pass 50% comes from continuous assessment test. That is, you should have 50% in total. Your total should come to 50%. However, in your final assessment test, you should have 14%, right? So if you go back to the slide, what it means is when you look at the maximum marks, of that you have to get 40, right? So it will only be 16 marks. 40 into 0.4 is 16 marks. So if you get 16, if you just pass in your external, you'll get only 16 marks. So this is something which will hurt you, right? So in many of the cases, what you get in your final assessment will be having the bulk of the marks, but in VIT, it doesn't matter that much. We don't say that only if you write this exam, you get marks. Continuously, you need to be a performer. Okay. So today is a good day to start working on the subject, right? So this is what I'm trying to put here. So these are the assessment components which you'll be doing. You will have to have a thing where the solution which is acceptable to a person from industry. So I will not be the only person grading it. I'll try to get some of my friends to come and evaluate your work. Okay, take it as a mini interview or a what you call as a practice session for interview. Okay, so I think I made a mistake here. The 20%, one should be quiz, other should be, the first one should be quiz, other one should be your assignment, and then it's not labor loss. Usually this is my standard template, so when I copy pasted, I think I didn't update it here, but the next slide is fully updated. So for your classroom quizzes, you get 70% of the mark. For the review quizzes, you get 30 percentage of weightage. Okay. So there are two components. Please be little cautious. Quizzes which are there in the classroom take 70% precedence. Just before your continuous assessment test, just before your final assessment test, a quiz will be conducted. I'll only take 30% weightage of the marks. Okay. Now, in closure, we've just seen something on what is the expectation from the course. We see that there will be rubrics. Rubrics have not been shared right now. It will be shared with the question which we give for your assessments. We saw the assessment components. There is a quiz. There is quiz component. There are two types of quiz. A formative quiz, which helps you under with the different concepts as we go around. There is a quiz which helps you to revise all the components. It will be done before the exams. And again, we will not take all the quizzes. Okay, suppose I'm conducting 10 quizzes. I will not take the marks of average of the 10. I will drop out 30 percentage of the quizzes, so that in the event you are not able to attend a quiz, you will still not lose. If you don't perform very well in certain components, that will not drag your marks down. So that is the intention with which we drop the bottom 30, because everybody cannot be performing at 100% efficiency at any point in time. Moving on, we are also going to look at a few other things. We are going to look at a peer reviewed assignment, and we are also looking at a digital assignment which you are submitting. And again, as part of your lab, you are going to develop a ERP2, but that I'll talk about in the lab session. Okay. And this is the general thing. Whenever there is a date given, please try to make sure that you are submitting it to time. Right. Now, moving on, attendance will all of you, I request you to please open Moodle. In Moodle, you'll find a you'll find a link called attendance. Please go in and mark your attendance there. Okay. Please open Moodle right now. Okay, and look for attendance component. I'm going to take a 2-minute break while you do that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yeah, and also you can use this time as you type your attendance, as you enter your attendance. Please, you can also um, put your questions. And I request you to please turn on your cameras. Okay, I'm missing the people who have turned on your cameras. I don't want to keep asking this repeatedly. Please turn on your cameras. It makes it a little more interesting for me also. Thank you, Head Joshi. Thank you, Mrigesh. Have you been able to get your attendance? Mark your attendance in Moodle?
Yes, sir.
Great. So maybe what I will do is let me just open Moodle. Mm, right, quite a few of you are inside, but many of you are not in also. So let me have a look at this theory component, and I think you'll be able to are you able to see the screen? Yes, you should be able to see the screen. So attendance is here. So what screen I see, it will be slightly different. You just need to go into your Monday's class, and inside it mark your attendance. Okay. So quite a few of you have not marked the attendance still. So please very
Sir,
quickly go in and do it. Yes, please.
sorry, model or VTOP, sir?
You should do it in Moodle. Moveit.vat.ac.in. This is the place where you have been receiving all your data. When I say data, it is all your that email where you submitted your meet and greet, other things. So my course, you'll be using this page extensively. So we one thing about attendance in VIT, we faculty members will be entering the attendance into VTop, and we will not be able to modify the attendance of this week uh, from the Monday of next. So if it is today's date is 13th, so I think it's 13th, right? Yeah, 13th. So till 20th, I can change the attendance for the week starting 13th. But on 21st, if you tell me attendance is wrong, I will not be able to modify. Not only me, any of the faculty members who are here. Okay. So I just request all of you to very quickly update your attendance. And if you have any issue, difficulty, just let me know. So you go to moveit.vat.ac.in, and then you will find that the attendance is right at the top. And the other important thing is attendance cannot be changed by any faculty member after 1 week. Okay, that is after the Monday of the subsequent week. Um I have a few general things which I'd like to share with you. So, if you have any questions, please ask on whatever we have done till now. If you, I take it that there are no questions, this slide show will be updated, uploaded in Moodle. You can just have a look at it later on, right?